podcast. I'm Alex, and I'm here with Corey. How's it going, Corey?
I am so happy, Alex, to finally be back. The return of Cavs basketball is finally here. Cleveland fans need this. The Guardians season just came to an end, unfortunately. The Browns suck, and it's not even Halloween. So, hey, Cavs basketball starting this week, Alex. I'm pretty pumped. And I feel like with the other two teams kind of done or not being competitive, Cavs might get some love this year from the fan base.
Oh man, you brought up the Guardians. Let's go back to the Guardians for a second. How awesome were those last couple of games? Did you watch any of that?
I didn't, but
Oh,
I'm not a huge I'm like a Kenny Lofton, Carlos Baerga, Albert Bell kind of
same,
sport
right?
fan, and
Alomar,
yeah,
like
exactly. Like
Vizquel, yeah,
Eddie
like
Murphy, and
Tomey,
yeah,
yeah, like that was our era.
that was
But
great.
boy, this is a pretty good era of Guardians baseball too. I'll tell you, we've got some great players, man.
It is
And
it is frustrating though, like the NBA and like their salaries and the contracts that are going out are absolutely insane, right? We talked about that last episode. But if I had a reason to not like be crazy about Major League Baseball, it's the salary cap situation. Because I saw, naturally you see this almost every year after the season comes to an end is Yankees salary and so, all these other teams' salaries, and then you see ours, and it's just like 1/3 of these other teams, and it's easy to be frustrated by that as a fan, right? So
yeah, we're never big spenders, but the
no,
last several years we've always seemed to do really well anyway.
yeah, yeah. Hey, they had a great season. I mean, it was great watching the fan base, rally behind them and everybody being excited and talking about it. It's unfortunate it came to an end. We know how that feels as Cavs fans, and it feels like it's been forever. But we had that moment, a while back too, when the Cavs season came to an end last year in round 2 yet again. And we are finally at the moment that Guardians fans will be clamoring for the next several
Yeah,
months is the start of a new season. It's
man,
finally here, Alex, and
I
I am
was on the
pumped.
edge of my seat during those Guardians playoff game. I mean, it was electric. It
I
was
figured you'd
awesome.
be watching like the WNBA final. Like, isn't the finals? Didn't that just wrap up the playoffs? And
WNBA?
sure,
I
no,
mean, I I don't know. I guess I heard they had like record breaking views and ticket sales and all this because of Caitlin Clark, but yeah,
yeah.
I didn't really follow it too much.
Yeah, I'm just pulling your leg, Alex. I know.
Hey,
I
you
do
never know.
I do need your opinion on something. So I'm
Sure.
very very pumped for the start of the Cavs season, but I learned also some bad news this morning. The TV that I planned on watching a lot of Cavs games down in my basement where I'm recording right now has died on us. It will not turn on. It is making some buzzing sound every 2 to 3 seconds. I haven't been able to fix it. As of right now, I don't have a way to watch a Cavs game in the basement on a large screen TV. So, with that being said, I am in the market for a TV, Alex. I haven't bought a TV in 7, 8 years now. Do you have any
Ooh,
recommendations
ooh,
on
man.
what's a good TV these days?
I don't know if you want to ask me because I love the specs and the high end stuff. I just got last year an LG C3 uh that's awesome. OLED, top of the line, whole bunch of bells and whistles that I don't need. 4K HDR, all that.
Uh,
Great for gaming.
yeah. Yeah, I need
But
something. I need something that's gonna be good for gaming too. And man, just spending like an hour just googling one, TVs are so cheap now. It's awesome, but there's just a rabbit hole, an endless scrolling pit
uh,
of TV options out there. It's
I'll tell
absurd.
you a good place to start is a website called Artings. It's like ratings without the A. It's
Okay.
artings.com.
Okay.
And they kind of benchmark, give you the lowdown, tell you the best. They got a list of the best budget TVs, the best middle tier, the best upper. It's just a great place to go. Boy, this is sounding like a commercial or an advertisement, but that's where I'm a research everything guy. I'm a technology guy. I work in IT, so
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
No,
it's just my nature.
I'm actually kind of excited because the TV I had, we bought probably 10 years ago down here now, so it's out of date a little bit. So any opportunity to upgrade to the 4K and OLED and all that for $200 or something, like heck yeah, I'm all over that.
That's the thing, right? TVs they last a long time, and you want to get something that's going to last a while, and you want to go
Yeah.
big because you're going to have it for a long time, and it's something you use almost every day. So why not? So it's worth the extra couple $100 to get something nice, I think.
Absolutely. So now it's this we'll see if I get a new TV down here before the first game of the season, but yeah, just very excited. Cavs basketball starting, potentially get a new toy down here to watch the games on. And hey man, fresh start, fresh slate. It's all good.
Heck yeah.
So since the last time we recorded, Alex, it was before the preseason had started. We had talked about kind of the roster additions and changes that they made. You know, Isaac Okoro finally re-signed, and they made some two-way contracts. And we were kind of just talking about what we were hoping to see in the preseason. And in a flash of an eye, you know, preseason's done. Cavs unfortunately go 0-4, but I don't really care about that. I don't think you do either. But let's talk some preseason Cavs basketball. Kind of, yeah, all L's across the board. But you know, it's all good. Kenny Atkinson, new coach, trying to figure out the rotations, trying to see what matches, what fits, and all that stuff. You know, what kind of stood out to you from the preseason? You know, maybe we start with the positives, and then we get into any negatives that you saw.
A lot of it, I think, is what I saw being said during the kind of the preseason where they interview the coaches and Kobe and the players, and they talked about what kind of like their plans are going into the regular season, and one of those things that was frequently repeated was about how they were going to get Evan Mobley involved and have him be a focal point. And I saw a lot of that. You saw Mobley getting the ball a lot more in the paint. You saw him just being way more active on the offensive end. You saw him taking several 3-pointers throughout the preseason and actually hitting a few of them. Looked great. He has a nice shot. And, upping his offensive game while still making sure that he was very active on the defensive end, getting blocks and offensive rebounds. So that was something that stood out to me, was just how much they were going to use Evan Mobley. And
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to it.
that's been the talk that we've been hearing, all off season since Atkinson arrived. And it's kind of funny because it's a complete opposite of what you heard with JB after the firing happened, where all those, kind of reports came out. And the one that is ingrained in my mind when it comes to JB and Mobley is the fact that we're in win mode now. We don't have the time to develop him in the way a traditional team would that had a number 3 overall pick and a player as good as Mobley. And, a couple years down the road from now, when hopefully Mobley is a stud and a reoccurring all-star and Atkinson really finds the way to use him, man, we're going to look back at that JB era and be like, how did he screw that up? He had Evan Mobley for 3 years, and how did he not unlock him? you know. But yeah, that's the biggest thing that I saw too. The first play of the game against the Bulls, they go right to Mobley. He doesn't even hesitate, makes a spin move, and finishes for an easy bucket over the defender. Yeah, so great to see Mobley kind of being used properly, and
Yeah.
is going to be more of a focal point in the offense.
Yeah, man. When you put it like that, are we the Thunder when they had Durant, Westbrook, and
Uh,
Harden?
who's Westbrook?
Yeah.
Give me Westbrook. Who's
Well,
Westbrook?
now
No, yeah. No. Give me
for a
Westbrook. Who?
while he was MVP worthy. Did he
Yeah,
win an MVP? He might have even won an MVP. I don't remember.
Westbrook.
Yeah, he was
Uh,
in the talks at one
I don't know if
time.
he did or not. I mean, he did go 2 years in a row of averaging a triple double, right?
Right.
Technically.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Yeah,
Boy, what a
yeah,
huge fall off he had. Huge. He went from Westbrook, the almost MVP, or maybe MVP, I can't remember, to Westbrook and not being
yeah.
able to shoot it at all.
And he's still in the NBA making bank while you and me are still,
I'm, I'm,
talking about it. So
yeah, yeah.
at the same time, it's like, hey man, he's good. He's good. One day we'll have to do another episode. We'll have to do that because you brought that Thunder team up, and that is one of the most like big what if teams,
They
right?
had Perk too, right? Big
Yeah,
Perk.
they had Jeff Green at some point. They had Perk.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ibaka.
Ibaka.
We're gonna have to do the comparison. Which Cavs player would be each one of those OKC players from that team? I think that'd be fun to do.
Steven Adams? Or am I reaching?
Yeah. Nah,
Yeah.
yeah, he was
Okay.
there. He was
All
there. I don't
right.
know if they were all there together though. I had to go back and do a little bit of research. Nick Collison might have been there too.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, Yeah, Reggie Jackson, maybe. Ah, man, now I'm going
Man,
down
we're
memory lane.
we're going on a tangent.
Talking TVs and Oklahoma City Thunder. Welcome
Yeah.
to the Cavs Pick and Roll podcast.
Hey, it's
But
only
yeah,
preseason. We can start wherever we want.
that's right.
We're
That's
just
right.
practicing for the regular season.
We were looking too, Alex, before we started recording. This is actually going to be the 5th year of us doing this Cavs and Pick and Roll podcast. Time has definitely flown by very quickly, but we are excited to be back. We have fun doing this, and hopefully, Cavs fans, you get a kick out of us listening and being fools and talking some Cavs basketball. But 5 years, Alex, that's great. Looking forward to another season with you, bud.
We should go on some sort of anniversary trip, Corey.
Yeah, I'll come to your
Anniversary
house
dinner.
one time. You can come to my house one time, and that'll be about the
Let's
extent of
let's
it.
go downtown Cleveland to Margaritaville.
There you go. There you
Yeah,
go. So Evan
anniversary.
Mobley obviously was great to see. Kind of, hopefully, will be his coming out party this season, right? And hopefully, Atkinson stays true to his word and really uses him as a 1A or 1B option. But besides Evan Mobley, from a positive standpoint, what else kind of stood out from you just kind of over the course of these 4 preseason games? What about their style of play? Did you notice anything different, or anybody else from an individual contribution standpoint jump out at you, or anything like that?
It's cool. It's always cool getting to see all the young guys play. I liked Thor had a good game. He played well.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. His that first game, he was. I was pretty
Yeah.
surprised. He's young. He's athletic. He's hungry. I don't know where his places on this team when it's all said and done. It's probably most likely a lot on the charge because you got a 2-way contract. But yeah, it's kind of fun seeing maybe a little glimpse of potentially someone in a future fit. When the fit is right, can potentially get some love on this team.
Yeah,
But I thought he was good.
another young guy that came in that I saw that I didn't even know about was Bernard, Jules
Jules.
Bernard, I think.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Preseason's always fun because you get to see a bunch of players that you didn't even know existed before they put on your team's jersey. And yeah, he was a shooter. I mean, he made some shots and he was aggressive. He did get waived. The Cavs did waive 4 players this week to trim down their roster, and he was one of them.
Oh no, I
And
didn't hear it.
yeah, that did get waived. I forgot who the other 3 were, but he was one of them, and I remembered him because you had texted me saying you liked him. So I wanted to call that out.
Yeah, he had a rough first preseason game, but I think the second preseason game he was in, he was like knocking down everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now I got to look up and see who else got waived, unless if I
While you're
said the
doing
names,
that,
you would know it.
yeah, while you're doing that, one thing that I like to see out there was Ty Jerome earning a paycheck, playing some minutes for us in a Cavaliers jersey. But in all seriousness, we like Ty Jerome a lot this time last year during the preseason and just watching what he could do. He has a little bit of size. He's crafty, can make the right passes, can run an offense, can shoot the ball a little bit as well. And then unfortunately, he was injured, game 2 and missed the entire season and kind of became the butt of a lot of jokes for Cavs fans. But you know what? I think he's going to be a very valuable asset this year. Probably playing behind, Garland a lot in that backup, running the second unit. But it was nice to see him out there, and hopefully, he'll be a key contributor this year in that second rotation. Can't forget about Craig Porter Jr. though. Craig Porter Jr. is still on the team, and a lot of Cavs fans fell in love with him last year when he kind of had those breakout stretches during many of our health riddled sections of the season. Craig Porter Jr. still young, still hungry, and it'll be interesting to see where he kind of falls in place now with Ty Jerome back as well. But I saw some moments, Alex, where the two of them were playing together in that second rotation. And I didn't hate it, to be honest with you.
Ty Jerome and
Porter.
Porter.
Yeah. 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 I think about when Rubio was here, there were times where Rubio was out there running around with another guard and it worked at times. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see.
Yeah, that's cool. So I found the 4 players:
Okay.
Jules Bernard, as you said,
Mm-hmm.
Zaire Smith,
Yep. Yep.
Jacob Gilliard, which I don't really remember seeing him play,
Yeah, me either.
and your boy Pete Nance.
Pete Nance. Pete Nance. Okay. I wonder if Pete went down. I think he's probably going to play for the Charge again, is my guess.
I would
Some of
bet.
those guys might be. Maybe all four of them are. I don't know. But every year this happens, right? I mean, the Cavs can't bring 20 something players onto the roster. Every NBA team's doing this right
Right.
now. But, another player I wanted to ask you about was, what do you think of the Rook, Jalen Tyson?
Oh, absolutely. I thought he played great. Yeah, he's coming along good. I'm excited. I hope he keeps getting some more minutes and they keep working him into the rotation because I think he's got a ton of potential.
Yeah, I liked what I saw out of him too. Young, hungry, athletic. I felt like he was aggressive. He played with confidence. Wasn't afraid of the moment. So on and so forth. And just kind of looking at his averages, he averaged 7 points per game on 52% field goal percentage. Grabbed a couple rebounds for us. Just was out there doing his thing.
Hmm.
Learning how to play at a different speed. I'm sure. And it's going to be very interesting to see, what his place will be on this team. And we'll get into it here in a couple minutes, I'm sure, but he might have an opportunity early on in this season to be a part of this rotation, Alex.
Yeah, I hope so. Like you said, I think he did really well. Lots of energy. He shot the ball really well. The only thing I'd like to see him shore up some is kind of ball handling and just taking care of the ball. He had some turnovers. He had some sloppy passes. That's the only kind of thing that you know that'll come with game time. Just some rookie mistakes.
Sure, sure. And then of course it's always fun watching the regular guys, right? Watching Donovan Mitchell is always fun. Jared Allen running around out there doing his thing, and even Garland. You know what? I was pretty satisfied with what I saw out of Garland. I knew a lot of Garland and Allen. There's a lot of Cavs fans that are going to need a lot of convincing. Based on things that happened last year. But I was pretty satisfied with what Garland was able to do in the preseason. Again, it's just preseason, but man, he made some nice zip passes. I want to see him average 10 assists this year. I think that'd be
Yeah, I
awesome, and
was
I
gonna
think he
say
could
the
do it.
exact same thing. I'd like to see him setting guys up more, making more zip passes, and just using his playmaking ability to get other players involved instead of attacking all the time.
Yeah,
So I hope that
I
continues.
Yeah, and I just want to see his confidence be there. And I don't. I'm trying to go off memory now. I probably should have had it up. I don't remember the exact quote, but I remember seeing something within the last week or so, a quote of his that came out that was something along the lines of, like, man, one injured season, gets everybody to turn on, and he gets everybody talking or whatever. And he's like, I just want to, come out this year, be aggressive, and shut everybody up, basically. So
Hmm.
it's going to be pretty hard for him to not have a better season than last year, right? All he has to do is stay healthy and just play his game, which we all know he's very capable of being a very solid, point guard and a player for the Cavs this year. So we'll be keeping our eye on him. Jared Allen as well. Jared Allen, I think, is going to do his thing. He's a double double machine, making 20 million a year, which is a steal. I know some Cavs fans are salty at him for sitting out the playoffs, man. But you're gonna love what JA brings this season into this team, and you're really gonna sit there. It'd be hard to imagine not having him on this roster. It really would.
Yeah, another player that I was looking forward to seeing this preseason, Luke Travers.
We got to see him.
We did.
We
He
got to
got a
see
few
him.
minutes here and there.
I like Luke because he is just a crafty player. He is. I mean, we talked about this from the first time we saw him. He does not look like a basketball player at all. So that throws you off right then and there. And then on top of it, he can play. He has some size. He's just smart with his decision making, and he just catches you off guard in a lot of places. Now, he didn't do anything spectacular. He didn't have any big scoring games or anything like that. But man, I mean, it just, there was this one play, I forget what game it was. It might have been the Pacers game. He gets a steal. He like gets a steal as he's going out of bounds. He keeps running. He hustles. He gets the ball back from whoever he passed it to, and he finishes, for a tough layup. He might even have got the and one, and he's just got that hustle mentality to him as well. So cool to see Luke Travers, kind of on the roster. Don't know how much playing time he'll get on the actual Cavs. But cool to see that he's here. And Alex, I'm still mad, and I check every NBA 2K update that comes out. I can report, sadly, no Luke Travers in 2K25 yet, but he will be in the game, and I will be announcing that when that happens.
Yeah, that's disappointing. I can't believe they haven't added him.
Yeah, I want to play with
But
him, man. I want to play with JT Thor's in the game, but no Luke Travers.
how is that
I don't
even
know.
possible?
I don't
Thor's
know.
in the game, but not Travers.
Yep. The disrespect.
Travers he signed a 2-way contract.
Two way.
I
You
think
got
he
a
did.
two-way
Yeah,
contract.
so he'll end up with the charge more than
He'll end up
likely.
with the charge, and if there's some injuries or something like that, he might get called up in
Do
certain
you
scenarios.
do you know who we didn't get to see play that I'm a little disappointed about? Imoni Bates. Is he hurt?
Well,
I wonder if he's hurt.
I don't know if he's hurt, and that is kind of disappointing. And I saw something a couple weeks back that I was like, no. Did you see that he supposedly put on 35 pounds
No.
this off season?
Tell me it was all muscle.
Like, is he TT wasn't doing, the roids last year? I forget exactly what it was caught for, his enhancement drug. Yeah. Yeah. How do you put on 35 pounds in an off season? I'm just going to say it. How do
Oh
you do that,
no.
Alex?
Yeah.
And I saw the before and after picture. I'm like, someone photoshopped that. That can't be real.
Oh no. Oh no,
you're look,
Corey.
you're looking
I'm
it up.
I'm I'm looking it up.
All right. All right. Yeah, but I don't know if he's injured or not. But yeah, you bring up a good point. I didn't even think about that. We didn't see Bates play at all. And I kind of wonder where Cavs fans are at with Bates at this point, because you always have a certain point of the fan base that is always going to clamor for the rookie, no matter who they are. Oh, the
Hmm.
guy's overseas playing in Turkey. I want him here. That was Chetty Osman at one point, believe it or not, right? Because he didn't come over right away. He was over in Turkey. And then you get him, and then you hate him, and then you want him out of here, right? That's just the way it works. But I wonder where Cavs fans are with Bates this year, this season. Are they still going to be clamoring for him to play now that you have Tyson here? Now that you have hopefully a healthy season? I don't know, man. It's going to be tough for Bates to carve out rotational time on this team, I think, Alex. I'm just being honest.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. Our fans clamoring for him, probably a little bit because he had a lot of potential. He's just not. He's not quite there. He's still very raw.
Very raw.
I see on Twitter, he had posted on Twitter that he had a slight tear in his meniscus. Got surgery today. Everything went good.
Makes
Think,
sense.
yeah. And that was two. That post was 2 weeks ago. 21 gonna be back and stronger. See y'all soon.
Got it. Okay. Well, there you go. That's why he didn't play. And hey, I mean, if you wear a wine and gold jersey, I want to see you be successful. And hopefully Bates can be. I mean, think about it. He was what, the 55th pick or something like that. He was a late second rounder. For him to turn into something and for your favorite team. That's always a great story, and it does occasionally happen. And he's only in year two in his NBA career, so lots of time for Bates. It's just this team is in a win now situation. It is kind of tough, but we'll see what the future holds for him. Let's talk some negatives, Alex. Was there any negatives that you saw or just wanted to call out during the stretch of these 4 preseason games?
The 4-game losing streak.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Negatives. Well, no Imoni Bates.
Yep.
I don't know.
How about I
Because
got one.
preseason doesn't really matter.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. So the 4 losses, it's like, that's kind of crappy because, a lot of those games the Cavs were up, and then you take out the starters, and then just the game falls apart.
Sure.
Whatever. But how about? And I don't know if this is a negative. It was kind of like a what? Like it was kind of hard. Like my eyes, it was just I couldn't adjust. But watching JB and Lamar Stevens
Oh yeah.
rocking the Detroit Pistons colors.
Mm-hmm.
That second game was kind of tough, and I believe that's who we opened up the season against. if I'm not mistaken, is Detroit as well.
I think you're right.
And then on top of it, to lose to JB, it's funny because I couldn't tell you. It was unbelievable how many articles there were after that game. Detroit media articles, basically. JB gets revenge, against his former team, and
Mm.
just like making it a huge big deal. And they had a pretty good preseason. I guess they finished 3-2, and they're a relatively young team yet, so whatever. But it was kind of weird, and it was kind of tough watching JB, and then when Lamar came in, I was like, no, not Lamar. I forgot they picked him up.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought we were kicking their butt when we had our starters in,
We did.
but
We were doing pretty good, but
I'm not
whatever.
concerned about it at all.
Yeah. It'll be interesting because we'll see Detroit, several times throughout the year. So we'll see JB a bunch of times, but we're excited about, here and now and Atkinson in the future. But another negative that I got to call out
Also,
is go
oh,
ahead.
go ahead.
No, go.
I was gonna say JB also took some of his, the
Staff with them.
assistant coaches with him. Yeah, so
Yep.
I saw a few of the others on the sideline, and I was like, oh shoot, he went with JB.
Yeah. Yeah.
Shoot, what's his name? That was with the Lakers. Now, now
Luke
it's
Walton.
Luke Walton. Yeah, Luke
Yeah.
Walton was on the sideline there.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's tough.
Is what it is, man. But another negative from this preseason, got to call it out, and probably the biggest negative, in my opinion, is Max Strus injury.
Hmm.
And do you know how that injury happened, Alex?
No, I don't remember.
While he was doing shooting drills, he landed on the coach's foot that was helping
Uh,
him with his shooting drills.
Come on.
And now he's going to miss the first 6 weeks of the season. And we're really trying to go into this season, hey, clean slate, positive vibes, all that stuff. But I sent you an article the other day, and that was before it was known how the injury had happened. And your response to me was, it begins, or
Yeah.
something like that, right?
And it
Because
begins.
we've
Yeah.
had nothing but injury riddled seasons now for the last several years. And here we are starting off the season, first 6 weeks of the season, without one of your starters in Max Strus. So to me, that was the biggest negative. And for it to happen in that way, oh man, that's kind of gut wrenching, to be honest with you. But the Cavs are gonna have to figure it out, figure out a way, and just get through it. It's as simple as that. So, with that, Alex, preseason's done. It was fun watching some wine and gold basketball again, but now it starts for real this week. Cavs basketball first game, and kind of a little bit of a tradition. We do this every year that we've been doing the podcast, is some predictions, right? And this year I came up with a couple extra questions than what I typically do. And I don't know. Are you ready?
Well, can I
What do you got?
just say one more thing about a Cav negative that
Sure.
I missed, and it's like glaring. It's the elephant in the room, right? George Niang is still on the roster. Come
He
on.
is. He is still here. We
The
should. We
the
should.
I noticed the dad body wasn't as bad as it
I
was
don't
last
know.
season.
It's definitely still there.
It's still there.
Definitely
He
still
didn't
there.
seem quite as tankish, but yeah, like tank controls,
Right. Yeah.
like
Yeah.
playing Resident Evil and you're
Yep.
George Niang, like
Yep.
turning like, but whatever. Yeah, George Niang's still on the roster. Some
He's still
fans love
here.
him, man. If you get on the Cavs Reddit, there's like people that love George Niang.
Really?
Yeah, I don't get it. Like,
I guess
yeah, he's
every
good.
player has a fan base. He's gonna be
He's
one
good
of
at
those
boxing
guys.
people out occasionally, I
He's
guess.
gonna be one
Yeah.
of those guys, Alex, that like finishes his career here. Like I don't know how old he is, but he'll like be done with the
Yeah.
NBA by like 34 or 35, and he'll just the last 4 years of his NBA career will be, with the Cavs somehow.
He's gonna
Yeah,
be
he'll
like
he'll be here beyond Mitchell.
a Cavs legend like Verjao.
Right, right. Shout out, I gotta do it. Shout out to Verjao, who recently just got inducted to the Greater Cleveland Sports Hall of Fame. He spent 13 years as the Wild Thing on the Wine and Gold. And the quote here is he will make a lasting impact on our organization as well as the city of Cleveland will be felt for years to come. So congrats to Andy it is kind of crazy to think, man. 13 years. Name one player on this Cavs team today that, when it's all said and done, will have spent 13 years with this organization. I don't know if that. I don't know if that
Tristan
exists.
Thompson.
Well, Tristan Thompson. Tristan Thompson. There you go. He'll be the next one to do it. It's a rarity these days. It really is. So, congrats to Andy to being inducted. And I need to look into that, Alex. I need to look into what other Cavs players and just Cleveland athletes in general are inducted into that. It's not really something I know a lot about of, so I think it'd be kind of cool to do some research about that, and maybe we talk about it on a future episode, at least the Cavs players. All right, Alex, let's get into it. 2024-2025 Cavs season predictions. The first one is always the number one question that's got to be asked is how many games will the Cavs win?
I wish that I remembered what I said last season.
I know. We got to start keeping a tally of this stuff to compare notes. Yeah, for sure.
Shoot. Yeah, I knew. I think they'll win 49 games.
49. I'm going
49.
I'm going 52 games.
Ooh.
52. I'm going to get them
All
over
right.
that 50 hump this year. I think we both predicted right around that last year too. But 52 and 49. Okay. Who will be the Cavs' most improved player on this team this year? Most improved player.
It's going to be Mobley. It's the year of the Mobley.
It's got to be. It's got to be Mobley. Otherwise, this season will not be the success that it needs to be. So I was going with Mobley as well, especially with all the talk of Mobley going to be used more, be the more focal point. He's going to have the most increased opportunity for growth as a result. Love Sam Merrill, but Sam Merrill isn't going to get 35 minutes and 15 touches in a game. You know what I mean? Mobley's going to get that kind of opportunity this year, and hopefully he takes advantage of that. So I'm going
I,
with
c-
Mobley as well.
yeah, I could easily say George Niang because he can't get any worse, right?
If Mobley was kind of
Roasted.
Mobley was also kind of an easy pick. So would you have a second pick? Because I think that'll make it a little bit more interesting.
All right, Mobley was the easy pick.
Yeah, for most
I'm
improved.
gonna go with man. Should I pick the Rook? Should I pick Jalen Tyson? Because
You haven't seen him play yet.
I just don't know if he'll get the minutes
Nah,
to
that's a bad.
make that jump.
You can't. You don't
But
know.
I
You don't
feel
know. You
like
don't know what the bait. You don't know what the foundation is for Tyson yet. You
I
can't say he's gonna be the most improved player if you haven't seen him play yet outside of 4
no,
preseason
that's
games.
true. That's true. But I just mean from rookie not getting any minutes to
Eh,
there's going to be injuries. He could end up getting some minutes.
maybe this was a bad
Uh,
idea.
I'm trying to think. Who else could it be? Really?
It's
You
easy.
know,
It's
you
easy.
think it's easy?
I think it's easy. I'm gonna cheat. Here's the cheat code.
All right,
Darius Garland. Because Darius Garland had such a horrible season last year. I just said it a
disagree.
couple minutes ago.
Yeah, but
Can't possibly be that bad again. He's gonna make a
that's because
jump.
he was hurt.
He wasn't hurt.
He got
He
his
wasn't
jaw
hurt.
broken.
Ah,
What are you talking about? He missed like a huge chunk of the season with a broken jaw. It was wired
uh,
shut. He came back. He was never the same. He was afraid to get hit in the face.
uh,
And in the season before that, he had an excellent season. He was almost an all-star. So,
he was almost an all-star. That goes to the next question.
all right.
Who will make the all? What Cavs players will be in the All-Star game this year, if any?
Mitchell, Mobley. I think I might stop there.
I'm stopping there too. It's kind of easy. That's my picks as well.
I could have went Garland Allen, but I don't know.
That doesn't happen unless the Cavs have some sort of unicorn season where they are just crushing it.
Mm-hmm.
Somehow, number 1, 2 seed, and blowing away all expectations from a national media perspective. 4 players don't make an all-star game anymore unless you're just having a heck of a season. Would love to see that, but yeah, I think it most likely stops at Mitchell and Mobley, and
I
only
think
if Mobley has that season that we're all clamoring for.
yeah, exactly. I think those are the two players that have the best odds at it.
Yep.
I think Allen and Garland could potentially put up the stats for it and be right there, but I don't think they're like popular enough to get
Yep.
the votes. They
it's
don't
it's
have that
yep.
marketing push or X factor. Or I don't know what it is, but
Nope, they're the snub factor
yeah,
players, right? There'll be 3 injuries, and even though statistically, this happened last year. I think Allen was statistically better than whoever was thrown in there. I forget who it was. There was several injuries, and Allen didn't get in, and his stats were better, but marketing is part of that as well. So, yeah, I think it's going to be
small
Mobley,
market team just
Mitchell,
not going to get the votes.
right?
Yeah,
So here's a good one. Who will start in place of Max Strus while he was out to begin the season with this injury?
Okoro,
Think of Kuro.
Okoro. You
Cavs
don't think
tried.
so?
Cavs tried that. Cavs tried that once upon a time. Did it work? I don't know.
Okoro at the 3.
I think he's a candidate. I think your candidates are Okoro, Levert, and Dean Wade. And I'm going to go check live right now because I put a poll up earlier today, so not a ton of time, asking Cavs fans who should start in place of Max Strus to begin the season.
All right.
57% of the voters said Dean Wade. They want
What?
D Wade to start.
Really
I was surprised as well.
interesting.
I won't hate it if Dean Wade starts. Not really on the Okoro train starting. I wouldn't hate it if Levert starts either, although Levert almost feels like too many cooks in the kitchen.
I feel like
Between Garland, Mitchell, and Levert, it's too many ball handlers, ISO, one-on-one, and
yeah.
so I don't know. Dean Wade might be the lucky one that gets it. We'll see. Atkinson
What?
said when Atkinson was asked about it, this is just him playing the poker hand, Alex. He's like, we'll have to see. It'll depend on the matchup. But he did call out Wade and Levert specifically would be candidates. So we'll see. We
All
will
right.
see. All right.
I was a little disappointed what I saw from Levert in preseason.
Yeah, Levert
I'll just
didn't
say
have a
that.
great preseason. I forget what game it was. Again, it might have been the Pacers game. He just I was texting with my buddies on our text chain, and I was just like, he just looks like he's going a step too fast. He was throwing bad passes, losing the ball, not really just finishing or scoring like he would. And
Mm-hmm.
I like Levert. I think when it's all said and done, I'm going to think mostly positively of him. He has his moments, but yeah, he did not have a great preseason.
No, he struggled shooting the 3. Yeah, I don't know. He seemed to yeah, he just seemed to struggle a little bit, but maybe he's just got to shake the rust off.
Yeah, we'll see. So next question, who will be the Cavs' most important player this year? Most important player. We talked about most improved. Who will be most important to this Cavs team this year?
I think it's always Mitchell. He's clearly the face of the team and the captain, the leader. He's the most important player on the team.
Absolutely. Agree 110%. Need Mitchell to have, first and foremost, a healthy season and would love to see him in the runnings for MVP. I think he totally can do it. And he's not going to have that window forever, right? As far as being like an MVP candidate. And we didn't talk about this last episode. So I'm taking the opportunity now to bring it up. And again, I don't have the quote in front of me, but he had a quote a little while back, probably right before camp started or right around that time, where he said he felt like he was a top 10 to 15 player in the league. And he intends on, playing like one. And if he does that, and is healthy and does that for an entire season, this Cavs team is going to be very fun to watch, and he will be a MVP candidate if he plays as a top, like a top 10 player in the league. So, yeah, kind of an easy one, but I wanted to see. I was curious if will he say Mobley because we're talking about how he's, we really need to unleash him this year. But I'm with you on Mitchell. Don't disagree on that.
Yeah.
Um, will the Cavs make a trade this season? Any trade, big, small, medium. Will the Cavs make a trade this season?
I don't think so. I I don't think so.
I
I would probably say not. It feels like they just locked up pretty much everybody to some long-term contracts. Everybody
110%
except, tell me, Corey.
Niang. No, I think
Nobody wants them.
I
No,
know,
I don't
I
know.
know. I think the Cavs will absolutely make a trade at some point this season. Do I think it'll be a big trade? Do I think it's a trade that's going to affect the core four? Probably not. Probably not, unless and this applies at all times. One, they get their socks knocked off with some sort of offer, right? Or if it's just not working,
Mm-hmm.
right? If, Garland is horrible and the Garland Mitchell duo, like we talked about that various times last year, of course, the Cavs will consider all options. But I'm thinking outside of that, I'm thinking the Cavs season is going good. They're meeting expectations. They're playing as a top caliber team in the East. And my thinking is the trade is made more from the perspective of going for it. Like, they're having a great season. They're healthy. They're competing. They're right there. They just need one small tweak or something, like bring in
Yeah.
another shooter or some sort of specialist, some big man, I don't know, some enforcer or
Yeah.
something like
Yeah.
that.
Some Bronny James.
Some Bronny James, man,
Yeah.
you know?
Let's just take a minute to pause and
Yeah,
laugh.
I don't know where to go from there. But yeah. But that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking they'll make some sort of trade because they're going to go all in and try to get something to get them over that hump. But we'll see.
So you think if the season's going bad, like let's say the record is, let's say they've fallen out of the top 8. You think it's is it time to make a big trade, or
It's
is
a
it
fire.
time
If
to
they're if
make
they're
a
if they're
would they
if
make a
they're
coaching change?
no, they wouldn't make a coaching change. And the only way you're going to be playing that bad is if two of your a couple of your core four have like season ending injuries or something like that, right? If people are relatively healthy and you're playing around 500 ball, oh yeah, we're going to have some problems. There's going to be some major shakeups, I would imagine. But again, start of a new season, clean slate, positive thoughts, Alex. We're going to
Right.
be making trades because we're going to bring in that last missing link to push us to the promised land during our playoff run. That's what I'm thinking right
Yeah.
now. Ask me in a
KD.
month. Ask me in a month,
KD,
though.
bring in KD.
Yeah, bring in KD. I saw.
Jared Allen for KD.
I talked about this a couple episodes back, and I don't know why, but I googled I just did Cavs and news just to see what kind of is being written about, and that same stupid article that came up a couple months ago from some Phoenix media outlet brought up the proposal of a Kevin Durant Evan Mobley trade, but it was like updated or something because you could look at the date and it was from this week. It wasn't like a 3-month old article that came up in my search feed. It was bringing up articles that are most relevant based on date. And it came up as like a this week article. And I was like, where does this Kevin Durant, Evan Mobley trade idea keep coming from? It's not going to happen. The
No.
Cavs would never do that.
No.
Kevin Durant wouldn't do that.
Not a chance.
Not a chance.
Mobley is like KD but 20 years younger. So
Yeah,
why?
yeah. And Mobley is your future, so Cavs wouldn't do that. Okay, so here's another one, and I guess it kind of gets you thinking a little bit more. Name a player who is on the team today, but will not be on the team by the time the season concludes, comes to an end, comes to a finish. Here's my one rule. You can't pick a two-way player. You can't pick JT Thor or someone like that. Someone that's actually on the roster today.
That's not going to be on it by the end of the season?
Yep.
Man, who drives fast and reckless, I guess. Tristan Thompson? Does that count?
TT. Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
I
counts.
don't know.
They brought him back for a full year. I mean, they
That's a
brought him
tough
back.
one.
They like his leadership and his toughness, and I mean, he had good stretches. I mean, we talked about this. He went above our expectations. We thought we
Maybe
were
he
going to get
gets
another.
popped again.
we thought we were gonna get another. We're gonna get a Varejao return or a Danny Green return. Tristan Thompson. If I had to think of recent times of where a former Cavs player came back, Tristan Thompson so far has had one of the better ones. Mo Williams came back for 2016 championship team.
Yep.
Did all right. Didn't do a ton. Like TT contributed more than Mo Williams, I would say, on that roster. So just thinking in the last 5 to 7 years, TT's had one of the best returns so far that I can think of. I'm having a
Who?
hard time choosing.
Yeah. Who are you going with?
I'm gonna go with going back to my answer for the trade. You can't bring in that missing link without moving something out of some sort of value, right? So I'm gonna go Karis LeVert because LeVert has a big enough contract. He's not making crazy money, but he has a big enough contract to where you're not going to get some vet minimum player back, right? Dean Wade, for example, doesn't make a lot of money, right? You ship him out, he's only making a couple million a year, I think, right? I mean, you're not going to get something crazy back that's going to make a huge impact. Garrett Levert is making double digits salary, which, I don't know what he's making, 12 million, 15 million. It's not a ton of money, but it's enough to get you something back. And he's still young enough and has offensive capability to where another team could look past the flaws and see, well, wait a second, that guy can go get me, 12 to 15 points a night if I ask him to, and can net you something like a enforcer or a specialist shooter or something like that. So I like Harris LeVert. He's been here for several years now. I think this is year 3 for him, if I'm not mistaken. I just feel like if the Cavs want to improve, they're going to have to move something of value. And when you think outside of the core 4, LeVert's an easy one to pick because you have Max Strus, because you have Okoro, you just drafted Tyson, you have Bates, you have Ty Jerome, you kind of have a logjam at that position. And he probably brings, probably the most value. I would argue him and Strus maybe are neck and neck. You're not going to touch Garland. You're not going to touch Mitchell at this point. Probably don't want to touch Craig Porter Jr. yet. Levert to me is the guy.
Yeah,
We'll
I like
see.
that pick. Yeah,
We'll
that
see.
makes sense. It's
We'll see.
possible.
Um, what playoff seed will the Cavs finish in?
Ooh, probably fourth.
3 years in a row, number 4.
Yeah,
That'd be
let's.
crazy. That would be crazy. I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt. I'm gonna bump them up one spot to the 3rd seed. I'm gonna give them the 3rd seed.
That means okay.
That
So so
means
so
that
who's your
means
top two? Okay, so you
I'll
got
go Boston. I'll go Milwaukee,
all right. Boston Bucks,
Cavs.
Cavs.
76ers will be there.
You think we're gonna top the Knicks?
However, well, that's gonna be tough.
Because that's why I
Uh,
said four. I
let
said
me
four
switch that out.
because
Let me switch that out. Let me go Boston, New York, Cleveland, Bucks, 76ers, Magic. That'd be my top 6.
okay.
And I know both the 76ers and the Magic made additions, right? This year. But you got Joel Embiid coming out saying I'm not going to play back-to-backs. You have Paul George who's already injured during the preseason. Orlando, sure they added a great one in KCP, right? That's a great addition, but they're still a young team, right? Am I ready just to crown them a top 3 seeded team? No. Miami, I don't know. I think it's their time to fade down in the standings. Atlanta, I'm not worried about them. Toronto, I'm not worried about them. I think if the Cavs have some luck health wise, why couldn't they? Why couldn't they? Is what I would argue, because the advantage the Cavs have, in my opinion, is something that the Celtics had for the last year or two, and it finally paid off for them this past season. Is a core roster that have played together for several years, right? Jaylen Brown and Tatum have been together their entire careers. Al
Mhm.
Horford's been there for several years now, and I hate Al Horford, but you know what I mean? Like they have the core guys. Our core four, this will be the third year of them playing together, right? And some of those guys have been playing longer together because they were here before Mitchell and so on and so forth. So they have that chemistry, that bond. And if health goes their way, that could pay off dividends come playoff time.
Yeah, yeah, I agree.
The last question, and this is the toughest one of them all, Alex.
Yeah.
So get ready.
All right.
How will the Cavs season end?
Championship, baby. With the ring, we're going all the way.
We're going all the way. Final
I think
answer?
so. Oh yeah, hell yeah. I mean, I look at it as we finished second last season. I mean, the only team we lost to was Boston, who went on to win it all. So we can top Boston if we're healthy. We'll get them. We're going all the way.
Yeah, I wish we could have seen a healthy matchup there. Because the Cavs played them tough. The Cavs did play them tough early on in that series. I'm optimistic. I'm not that optimistic. I think the Cavs will fall short of making it to the NBA Finals. I will say they get out of the second round, but they lose in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Bullshit.
I'm not. I don't know to who though. I don't know to who. I don't want to say to who. I guess maybe. I don't know because it's going to be gut round. I don't want to see. I don't want Boston to win again. I don't want to lose to New York. I don't want to see Joel Embiid. I don't want to see none of that.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to. Hey, it's another stepping stone. Sure, I would love them to go all the way, but I'm trying to keep realistic expectations as well. But we'll see.
I'm also being realistic, and I think Kenny is going to get us over the top.
Who Kenny is?
Kenny.
All right.
It's coaching.
We'll see. I hope you're right. I hope
He's
you're
going to
right.
fix all that JB nonsense.
Yeah. So that was my quick prediction questions for you. That was a good amount. That was at least 10 questions or so. And those are some good responses. I'll have to go back and listen to this and kind of write down our answers so that we can compare notes come the end of the season whenever it does end, and we can kind of see how off we were. That'd be a fun
Yeah.
segment on a future episode many months
Yeah,
from
that would
now.
be good. We should do that.
Definitely. With that, Alex, hey man, I don't got anything else from my end. You got anything else that you want to bring up?
Nope. I think we can wrap it.
Let's wrap it up. Cavs basketball is finally here. Hope you're pumped, Cavs fans. Want to thank you as always for tuning in and listening. And Alex, you want to let them know where they can follow us and connect with us.
Follow us on Twitter at Cavs Pick and Roll. Shoot us an email, cavspickandroll@gmail.com. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Tumblr, YouTube. Wherever you're listening, click like, subscribe. Leave us a rating or review, and we'd appreciate it.
All right, Cavs fans, there it is. We will talk to you again soon.
Peace out, Cavs fans.